on the grave of Habiba radiallahu ta'ala anha, informing to us it's absolutely permissible to erect a building on the grave of a sahabi of a wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, but people may ask, get me something from hadith. Get me something from the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Fair enough. Okay, this is the Sharah of Al-Mawahib Al-Laduniya. I got this from Makkah Sharif in 12 volumes. Imam Qastalani radiallahu ta'ala anhu has written a Sharah Al-Mawahib Al-Laduniya in the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is volume number 3. Page number 215 to 217. When the Prophet ﷺ, when he signed the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, what was in the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, that any Muslim who was to migrate from Makkah Sharif to Medina Sharif, they had to return back. The Muslims of Makkah, they were not allowed to remain in Medina Sharif. This was a treaty, and the Prophet ﷺ signed. Yes, we acknowledge. So there was one Sahabi, Sayyidina Abu Basir. What was his name? Sayyidina Abu Basir radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He became a Muslim. And he ran to meet the Prophet sallallahu in Medina to Munawwarah. Behind Abu Basir, 2 kuffar. One of them, his family member, they ran to catch him. You're not allowed to leave. When he reached Medina to Munawwarah, he went to, Ya Prophet of Allah, I've run away from my family in order to join you. Protect me. The Prophet sallallahu said, no. O Abu Basir, we made a deal with the kuffar of the Quraysh, you have to go back. So what happened? The 2 kuffar came. They took Abu Basir radiallahu ta'ala anhu and they were returning back to Makkah Sharif. In the midst, on the way, they stopped for some lunch, some food. Abu Basir said to one of them, I like your sword. And this is from Sahih Bukhari. I like your sword. Very nice. Okay, so he began to boast. The Kafir said, yes, I killed. تَجَرَّبْتُ هَذَا وَتَجَرَّبْتُ I tested this sword this many times and these many times. He said, can I have a look? So he held the sword and he killed one of the kafir. The other kafir returned back he ran to Medina Munawwarah. He came panting in that state of sadness and sorrow and grief and anger and said, oh Muhammad, we made a deal that this mu'min of yours will return back to Makkah Mukarramah, but instead he killed one of our men. So the Prophet ﷺ was disheartened by this and said, oh Abu Basir, woe to you. When Abu Basir, he's heard these words from Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet was angered by this. He went to a place called Siful Bahr, the seashore. Away from, between Makkah Sharif and Medina Sharif, there's a place, he stayed there. Other Muslims of Makkah Mukarramah, they joined Abu Basir. You following? I'm coming to the main part. This is from the life of the Prophet ﷺ. This is not from Barili Sharif. Yes, our Aqidah of Barili Sharif goes back to the Prophet ﷺ. Abu Basir, he joined, and Abu Jundal, or Abu Jundul, and great Sahaba. Altogether 70 Sahaba, they gathered in that seashore, Siful Bahr. And what happened? Do you know the Meccans, when they went to Syria for business trips, they would loot the caravans, they would kill the people. So the Meccans came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, O Prophet, O Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, let's destroy this treaty, you can get the Muslims back to Medina Munawwarah. Now what happened? The Prophet became happy. He wrote a letter to the Muslims, 70 Muslims, that you need to return back. Now this is where I'm going to read. فَأَرْسَلَ إِلَيْهِمْ The Prophet ﷺ wrote a letter to them to invite them, come back. You are allowed to come back to Medina Munawwarah. The treaty is not there anymore. فَكَتَبَ صَلَى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمْ إِلَىٰ أَبِي بَصِيرٍ The Prophet ﷺ wrote a letter to Abu Basir. فَقَدِمَ كِتَابُهُ وَأَبُو بَصِيرٍ يَمُوتُ Now what happened? Unfortunately, when the letter reached Abu Basir radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he was on his deathbed. He was about to pass away. Muhaddithun have stated, he kissed the letter, placed on his eyes, and then his ruh left. A great ashiq. Now what happened? فَمَاتَ He passed away. وَكِتَابُ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَى فِي يَدِهِ The letter of the Prophet ﷺ was in his hand, and he placed it on his face, and he passed away in that state. Now what happened? فَدَفَنَهُ أَبُو جُنْدَلْ مَكَانَهُ Abu Jundul, another Sahabi, he buried him in that same place, Siful Bahr. And not only this, وَجَعَلَ عِنْدَ قَبْرِهِ مَسْجِدًا. He, Abu Sahabi, he built a masjid next to the grave of Abu Basir radiallahu ta'ala anhu. This is from the seerah of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You understand? So our aqidah is not new. And if you please, if you can go to the video clip, Brother Hanif. If you can just watch, just 1 minute, just watch this. Just watch this is what's happening to our ummah. You've seen some of the pictures here. This is the mazar of the Sahabi, Sayyidina Qais radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Now look what he says. Read the subtitles. They burned the Quran. They took the books of Imam Ghazali, burned them. It's shirk. They don't love Sufi Kiram. If you stop there, inshallah, right at the end, inshallah, I'm just going to finish off now. The course of action. Okay? Now these are what we need to do. Take this from here. First and foremost, we need to learn the established aqeedah of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Every child should know. Unfortunately, what happens? Okay, they see these terrorist attacks happening everywhere. Okay, Mazara being bombarded. We as parents, we have not informed them that this is wrong. We have not told them this is not Islam. Because we ourselves, we have no knowledge at all. Okay, we need to learn ourselves the true aqeedah, then we can teach our children. Learn, as we learned yesterday, from true scholars. Read the books to protect your iman and amal. At least try to pray your 5 times namaz on time. Okay, and read the Quran.